This is it's how you take like a print from a shirt or something or a regular image, and you make it a perfect PNG that you probably use for your shirts and stuff, also for your web stuff. But even for the shirt the shirt selector, after you're done with this file, you can import it in there. I use ActionScript 2. You can use 3. 3 and lets you do some 3D stuff and everything. I'm just more used to actually scripting with 2. You can change it later on if you need to. Alright, so you got screen right here. Just starting with the basics. Vector drawing, it's not like raster where it gets pixelated and everything like that. It's actually just a bunch of computed curves and stuff, and then you can actually texture it with a JPEG or whatever. So if you just take the line tool and draw a line, see right here, I like to use keyboard shortcuts, so I'm going to use them later on. I'm going to start using the menu bar, but you can use, and you see right underneath it, it just tells you the shortcut key. It says selection tool V. It's really good practice to learn those. There's only a couple of them you really got to learn. But if you take your selection tool or V, you see how you can bend this line now. And you can also take an endpoint and you can move it. You can also somehow, oh okay. And then this sub selection tool, you see how it's still only 2 points, and there's a thing you can adjust these curves. That's kind of harder to do. Sometimes you have to, but you can see right here how it makes it cut. The sub selection tool again lets you see your points. See how there's more points on here now, and you can actually just move these points. And there's 2 different things. There's a line and there's a fill. Like if you have right here, I have a red and a red. Say if I have a red and a gray, and I draw like a box or something, it's gonna have that fill inside, and you'll learn more about this in a second. I'm gonna use V or the selection tool, and you can they're 2 totally different things: a fill and a line. So I can take the line tool, which is in, and draw it, and then actually come in K, which is the bucket right here, and fill it the same. And then like before, I can take points. Also A, which is the selection tool, what I'm selecting right now. Whenever you click once on the line and it shows you all the vectors, as long as you're clicking outside of it, you can select a whole bunch of points, and you can use the keyboard too to nudge them up, down, left, and right. So you can just select 2 points and move them a little bit. You can use the selection tool or V to bend out points. Same thing with this. You really just got to practice being able to make the shapes that you want. But there's different tricks too. You can hold down Control while clicking on it, and it adds another point. And you can kind of you can delete points. The sub selection tool or A. Say you click on here, and say you didn't want a hump right here. You just want a long straight curved line. You can come in here, and when you select the 2 points, you can hit delete, and see how it deleted that point. I don't know why it deleted the fill also, but anyway, there's less. You can delete single points, and sometimes you have to do that just to kind of readjust the shapes you want or whatever. See how that's like nudge? Come in there and delete that point, and then I could select that point, move it up a little bit. Now select all these points, move them up. And you can just you can get the desired shape you want. And that's the basic of vector drawing. And to convert a previous drawing, you pretty much just draw over a drawing. So restore this. Alright, I took a picture of just of a sweatshirt with a design. You want to make sure that the image is laying real flat, on flat as you can get it when you take a picture. And don't worry about if it's a little bit blurry or something, as long as you can see the major lines in it, you know. So I'm gonna, you can just drag in a picture from the outside. You can also go to File, Import, Image. Okay. Now this is too big to fit on the screen, so I'm gonna hit Control 3. Control 3 fits everything in it. See how it's 27%? Because the image is it's a way higher resolution than we have our stage. Some of the tools work better if you're working at reasonable sizes. Q, which is this tool, it's a free transform tool. We used it in the shirt selector. But see how there's a box around it? You just hold down, you've got to hold down shift so it keeps the same aspect ratio. Here's our stage right here. So once you make your vector art, it doesn't matter what resolutions you're working at because it looks the same. You don't have to be the same exact size as the stage, just somewhere around it. Okay. And now I'm going to use the zoom tool, which is right here, which I messed up on the last video, so it was this one. But I use the zoom tool, or the Z key. I just drag a box around it, or you can hit Control 2, I think. Yeah. Alright. So now we got to do something to the image to let us start cutting it up. Right now, if you click on it, it's actually a bitmap. You can right click on it and go to break apart, or I just use Control V, but you can just right click and go to break apart. Now it's a vector it's a vector fill, like we'd seen the gray earlier. It's a fill, but like, okay, for example, if we take the selection tool or V, it's a fill without lines on it, but it's using the image as a texture. That's what breaking apart does. You made a symbol. It's not even a symbol, but so when you create lines, say we make a line here to here. If this point, you see, whenever I click on the subselection tool or hit the A button, see how I can see that this dot is part of this line and this line. So it's totally sealed off. That's the one thing about working with vectors. You get real good at using the zoom tool. If you're using the zoom tool and you hit Alt and click on it, it zooms out. And if you let go of Alt, it zooms in. So it really helps to get good at using the zoom tool, because it really helps. But I can zoom in, hit A, which is my subselection tool, and I can see that dot's right there. You want to get used to using the space bar too. Hold down the space bar and you can click and drag, and it moves your image. So you don't have to zoom out and zoom back in, or you can work around with it. So you definitely got to use the space bar. Flash is just so much easier when you learn the keyboard shortcuts. I'm gonna hit Z. Actually, I gotta click off of it. I gotta hit Z for zoom. I'm gonna hold down the Alt, which is zoom out. So now if I use my selection tool or V, I can select that fill, and I can delete it. I'm gonna put it back real quick. If you double click on it and you click, it selects the lines that are touching that shape. Same thing if I made a little square. If I double click on this, it selects the lines too. If I click on it once, it selects just the fill. 2 times, it selects the lines too. So I can double click on that and delete. So this is where you kind of start getting into your drawing skills, because if you can draw over this, then you can delete what you don't want, and that's the idea. There is some tricks. I use this all the time because this image isn't that hard, but a lot of other ones are. If you click on it and then you hit the F8 button, F8 converts it to a symbol. So it doesn't matter what you want to name it or whatever. Actually, I'm not even going to go into this because it might get a little too confusing. I'll show you later if you get a hang of this. But so anyway, we're going to come in and select our line tool, which is in. Actually, I'm going to zoom in a little more. So just get used to using the zoom and the line tool. So I'm gonna make a line, say from here to here, and then I'm gonna make a line here to here, here to here, here to here, here to here. So I'm just going to the points. Like, see right there, and then I can take my selection tool or V, and I can start bending out those lines. If you make lines, two small lines that are make a straight line, it's not going to make that extra point in it. So you kind of got to get used to staying off of lines and stuff. There's also, see, I have all mine turned off, but you might have a problem. Shit. You might have to go in here, view, snapping, and you might have to just select what I have, align and objects, because if you snap to grid and stuff, sometimes it'll screw you up. So you might have to set this. But so I'm gonna use the space bar. I'm gonna come out here. I'm gonna use in for my line tool, and you kind of get a feel after how much these lines will bend, you know, and how many points to make. But you'll see now I'm going to use V, my selection tool, and I'm just going to push up these images a little bit. So you just want to try to match it. It doesn't have to be you're more worried about what the red shape looks like rather than fitting the lines perfectly. You don't want no crazy stuff with the red shape. And then you're just going to continue to do this. Look, this is kind of what I was talking about. If you see, I want to draw a line right here, and my next line I kind of want to make straight. See how it wants to make a straight line? If you make that straight line and you go to do this, it does it as one line. So you want to go back and just make the first part of it. Make the first part of the shape. Go ahead and curve that part, and then make the next shape, the next part, and then curve that. So it's just, you just got to practice. Using the keyboard shortcuts makes it a whole lot faster. If you just spend a little bit of time learning them, it'll save you. It'll save you a whole shitload of time. My brother's been using this program for years, and he still don't want to use the shortcuts, and it takes him 10 times as long to do anything. So I'm gonna pause this recording and just finish this up real quick. Alright, I went ahead and did the outline. Now if you mess up,